What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. And today I want to talk to you about 5 things I've learned since I started YouTube. Now, obviously, I learned quite a bit about video and audio and editing and publishing and social networking and networking in a small business and how to run a business. I've learned all of that stuff. And that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about 5 things you can apply to your life every day. Number 1, high school never ends for a lot of people. Now, this isn't true for everybody because a lot of people learn how to spread their wings and do something completely different and even can transform themselves in one way or another, myself included. But for a lot of people, they just pretty much stay whoever they were in high school. A lot of the nerds stay nerds, a lot of the weird kids stay weird, and a lot of the popular, beautiful people just walk through the rest of their lives like that. You know that tiered popularity system you had in high school? It applies here to YouTube as well. And there are just certain people that look a certain way and act a certain way who are also very, very talented, by the way, but they meet a certain criteria, and because they meet that criteria, they are treated extra special here on YouTube, including meteoric rises to the top. They even, in some cases, get special treatment from YouTube and Google themselves because they fit the perfect criteria, and they'll get to be special, they'll get to appear on billboards, they'll get extra Google money to produce stuff. That's pretty much it. There's the popular kids, and then there's everybody else. But I'm not saying you can't change your stars, because here on YouTube, the ugly nerd becomes the beautiful swan all the time, just like in those stupid 80s movies. On top of that, all of the rumor mongering and dogpiling and social outcasting and all that bullshit that happened in the gossip of high school, that happens on YouTube and real life as well. That is not just special to YouTube either, because that will happen in any company or any organization you're ever part of. That social hierarchy exists pretty much until death. Number 2, people kind of suck. Now, obviously, not all people suck, but some people are really, really shitty. I'm not talking about internet trolls either, or people who do mostly harmless things. I'm talking about the people who are kind of dedicated to making other people as miserable as they are. Did you know that there are people out there who will try to get a YouTuber's personal information? Then once they have that personal information, try to use it to blackmail them or harass them in one way or another, publishing their personal information, their phone numbers, their home addresses, sending death threats, calling the cops on them, and a wide variety of terrible, terrible things. I know YouTubers and streamers that have been sent personal letters to their home address threatening their lives. People have had SWAT attempts on them while they were live streaming. People have had people show up at the front door just to call them a piece of shit and make them feel unsafe in their own home. And once you've experienced this stuff firsthand, I'll tell you something. It makes that little kid typing "you're fat" into the comment section look just about as harmless as he actually is. Which leads me to my third point. Most people are pretty awesome. Before I started YouTube, I did not interact with a lot of people. I had a handful of friends from the local gaming community, and I had a handful of friends from high school, so my experience with people was a fairly narrow field. Thanks to YouTube, I've not just interacted with people in the gaming industry or in the YouTube industry or people who also do YouTube, but the people who watch this content every day. And you people are fucking great. Since I started YouTube, I received tens of thousands of letters from you guys. I have met thousands of you at conventions and shaken your hands, and you guys have treated me with a love and respect and kindness I genuinely never thought I deserved. I've also seen you extend that love and kindness to so many other people, so many other YouTubers, sometimes even when they're down on their luck. I've seen you guys raise millions of dollars for charities. I've seen you guys give to Kickstarters to create something awesome. I've seen you guys give to Patreons to support some of the YouTubers who I watch every single day. You guys put so much good into the world, and I promise you, the good you're putting out in the world cancels the bad all those other people are putting out. Number 4, you can do pretty much anything. When I was growing up, I wanted to be a stand-up comic. I wanted to be on television. I wanted to do stupid comedy albums. I wanted to write funny books. And I really, truly believed I was never going to get that opportunity because I wasn't good enough to be able to appeal to the people who control those particular things. If you wanted to write a book, you had to go through a publishing company. If you wanted to make an album, you had to go through a record company. If you wanted to act or be a stand-up comic, you had to get a manager and get on television or in movies, and very, very few people were ever given that opportunity. But these days, if you want to create a game, you can publish it almost anywhere, like Steam. If you want to make videos, you can publish them on YouTube. You can become famous through social media and be a comedy vlogger or a sketch writer. You can pretty much do whatever the hell you want and make your own way, and almost no one can stop you. If you're lucky enough to have a job and you work hard enough and you save up enough, anyone can afford the equipment that allows you to produce anything you could possibly imagine. And with the publishing tools that are available to you on the internet, the stuff you create today could be seen by the world tomorrow. Thanks to the digital revolution and the internet, for the first time in human history, you are capable of putting whatever you create into anybody's hand. That's actual magic. You no longer have to go through some rich white guy to have your message heard. Don't get too butthurt about it, rich white guys. You still pretty much control everything else. And finally, number 5, don't be afraid to fail. Over the last 8 years that I've been doing YouTube, I will tell you that I have fortunately been very successful here towards the last few years, and I'm very grateful for that. But this was the first thing I was successful at. In high school, I got shitty grades. I went to a community college and I couldn't handle the pressure, so eventually I dropped out. I started my own small business doing web design, and I ran that business into the ground. I did so poorly even maintaining my own physical body, I ended up on disability at some point. Everything I touched turned to shit. I was the King Midas of shit. At any point down that road, I could have easily decided that I was afraid to try new things, find my groove, and just stay in it, even if it wasn't that great. YouTube is definitely one of those things that scared me to death because I was afraid of falling on my ass again and making a fool out of myself. But every time I screwed up in the past, I learned something new. And I used those skills as building blocks to build what I created here on YouTube. Even when I didn't get it right, I learned what not to do, but quite often I learned a few things that kind of worked. If YouTube had been the first thing I'd ever stuck my neck out and tried, I most assuredly would have failed, but thanks to the fact that I tried all this other stuff and screwed up at some point, I had the skills and building blocks I needed to find success here. And that's the thing about life. Life is never about the outcome or the destination. It's about the journey getting there. And sometimes you do get where you wanted to go, and it's super great to be there, but that even just turns out to be a step into the next place you end up. Okay, that's the 5 things I've learned. Now let's put it all together. Yes, the game is still rigged, and the politics you learned in high school are going to follow you throughout the rest of life. And when you try to do good things, bad people will try to prevent you from doing it, but good people will help you along the way. And right now, in this time and day and age, the game is less rigged than it's ever been, and you are more capable of doing anything you've ever possibly imagined, and you should. You should try every single day to create something awesome out of your life, because for the first time in human history, it's actually really possible. When I graduated high school, almost every graduate got a copy of a book called Oh, the Places You'll Go. But many, many people in my generation were not able to go much of anywhere and got stuck right where they started. But for this generation coming up and the people that are out there right now, I genuinely believe many of you will go wherever your heart takes you. But hey, that's just one man's opinion. I have been wrong before. Whether you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments section below. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon.